guys, and welcome to the 5th episode of TNT. In today's video I'm going to talk a little bit about my thoughts and tactics when it comes to playing solo. Although I have a fairly large pool of friends and clanmates that play BF4, there are often times where I play on my own, and I've learned a few tactics and tips to improve the experience when you game solo. The Battlefield games are designed around squad and team play, and the developers sort of expect you to be in comms with your fellow squad mates and use different classes, gadgets and tactics to win the fight, and it's one of the biggest reasons why I love the Battlefield series. However, this can make going solo quite hard if you still want some of that Battlefield experience in your gameplay. The simplest way to have a good, consistent experience if you're going to go solo is to just play game modes like TDM or Air Superiority, where the ultimate goal is simply to kill the most enemies. Although even in these game modes, proper teamwork will make the world of difference, it is certainly possible to still have fun playing on your own. But what about the other 8 game modes that are objective-based, like Domination, Conquest, Rush, Capture the Flag, etc, etc? Well, to give yourself the best chance of having a fun, consistent experience in these objective-based game modes, here are a few of my thoughts and tactics you can apply next time you're playing solo. Number 1. Select a squad. If you're going to focus mainly on infantry play, I would suggest waiting in the spawn screen for a minute or so after the match has started. Keep an eye out for squads that are clearly pushing the objective, and even better, that seem to stick together. Chances are that you'll find an open slot in one of these squads. By hanging on a minute or so after spawn, you tend to avoid joining a squad of rooftop snipers, which will end up just aggravating you in the long run, unless of course that's what you're keen on doing. Should you join a match that's already well on its way, it might be a bit harder to spot solid squads. In this instance, I suggest looking at the scoreboard and joining a squad that has one or more of the higher scoring players in it. This is obviously not foolproof, but high scoring players tend to be playing the objective, or at least are competent enough to lend good support to their squad mates. If, on the other hand, you are keen on some vehicle play, you obviously need to spawn in as soon as the round starts in order to get the driver's seat in your vehicle of choice. Once you are in your vehicle, I suggest joining a squad with fewer players, say 2 or 3. I find that this seems to almost force your squad mates to spawn as your gunner when they die, although that's obviously not set in stone. Number 2. Complement your squad. Now, I don't mean you have to tell them they look pretty today, but once you've joined a squad, have a quick glance at what classes they are running and choose your class to best complement theirs. If they say have 4 assault players, spawn a support for ammo, as it would seem that they are going to be frontline players. If you are playing a vehicle-heavy map or mode, make sure your squad has enough engineers, and if they already have a few, then I suggest running assault to revive downed reppers and heal your squad mates. If you're playing Rush or Capture the Flag, I find the most useful classes to be Recon and Engineer, so I always spawn as Recon if my squad does not yet have one. Your spawn beacon is your squad's most powerful tool. One good spawn beacon near an MCOM or the enemy base can and will win you the round. Number 3. Adapt and support. If you see your squads playing a 2-flag hold or are rather mopping up kills than pushing the MCOM, then adapt your playstyle, class, weapon and gadget choice to support this. So let's say you're playing Conquest on Goldman Railway, and you see that your squad is holding and defending the A and B flag, which is a tactic I often employ when I play in an organized squad. Then it might be better running support over assault or assault over engineer to either provide a constant supply of ammo or to keep everyone fighting fit with copious amounts of morphine shots. Bottom line is to adapt to your squad and support and complement the squad as a whole. Number 4. Hop, skip and a jump. This next point is a little contradicting to what I've said so far, but I'm sure you guys will get what I mean. When you're playing solo, the best way to enjoy yourself is to try and work with the squad, which I hopefully made clear so far. However, there is no reason why you should be a martyr just because you cannot find a squad that is playing to your liking. So although my advice is to play in such a way that you complement your squad, it is also important to mention that there is no shame in squad hopping if you're getting too bored with what a certain squad is doing. When you're in a squad with 3 other buddies all talking to one another, it's much easier and much more fulfilling playing a seemingly quote-unquote boring playstyle. However, if you are the 5th wheel in that squad and cannot communicate with the other guys, it might not be fun just being a rep bitch to a chopper pilot or tank driver, or just laying down suppressor fire and dropping ammo boxes all day long. In these cases, there's no shame in looking for a new squad that is playing in a way you might enjoy more. Every now and then you'll join a server that seems to be made up entirely of individual players where no one is in comms with anyone else. This makes squad play pretty much pointless, and trying to complement a squad made up entirely of blueberries is like trying to execute a bank robbery with a bunch of drunken toddlers. In these cases, I choose my go-to class and weapon and try to play the objective as best I can, constantly hopping from squad to squad to get closer to the objective or to get a better flank or angle on a target. Basically, I see if there are any players in my team close to where I want to be, then I quickly join and exit squads until I find the squad they are in. I join that squad if I can, spawn on them and attack my target. Once I'm killed again, I repeat the process. Now, beside the squad play, there are a couple of general tactics and thought processes I can suggest to help improve your lone wolf experience. So number 5 is play slow, move constantly. Playing without voice comms means you are pretty much alone out there on the battlefield, and therefore revives and other support won't be as readily available. To try and combat this, I suggest slowing down your playstyle, but always keep moving. By playing a little slower while approaching objectives or choke points, you will spot enemies easier and be able to change course or even retreat to a safer position with more success than if you were hurtling into battle at full sprint. Most successful squads tend to lock down a specific part of a map or set up a good choke point until they have cleared out all the enemy players and then only move on. But doing this successfully requires being able to talk to your squad mates, calling out enemy pushes, positions and other potential dangers. So when you're playing solo, it becomes incredibly difficult to play this stop, clear and move style because you cannot cover your own back. For this reason, I tend to move around the map constantly when I play on my own. This way you are much harder to hunt down. Motion is commotion, and commotion is great camouflage. Number 6, be your own support. Another little tactic I like using when I play alone is to set up little support zones for myself. So let's say I'm playing a Lone Wolf Recon. Whenever I see an enemy or friendly support player go down, I kit switch with them, run to a nearby spot that has decent cover, deploy an ammo bag and then run back and get my kit back. Same goes for medics and their health packs. By doing this, you set up a little support station for yourself where you can go and heal and resupply without being dependent on teammates. Now the last point for today's video might be a bit awkward for some people, but I have found that it makes for some fantastic matches and I've met some great people from all over the world doing this. So number 7 is to make contact. Once in a blue moon you come across a squad of guys or even just one other player whose playstyle complements yours perfectly. These moments are some of the coolest for me and the epitome of the multiplayer experience in my opinion. In situations like these, I always try the in-game VoIP system just to see if there's any way we can communicate verbally. Sometimes I even send a quick message to ask if they would like to use the in-game VoIP. Like I said, this is not for everyone, but I urge you to give it a shot once in a while. You might be pleasantly surprised. And that brings us to the end of this episode of TNT. I hope you guys find use for a few of my tactics for solo play. As always, follow me on Twitter for more up-to-date info on this channel. Also, if you enjoyed this content and you'd like to see more, please like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.